My friends, we are clearly living in weird times, and I don't need to reiterate why. You know why. You see what's going on out there. But the question is, what are we going to do about it? So let me tell you something here. I think things are shifting around pretty big time right now. And while things will eventually return to normal after this pandemic slows, it's not going to be the same normal. The way people live their lives is going to change. The relationship with work is going to change. The way we learn is going to change. And I think that this is a humongous opportunity for those of us who choose to see it and act upon it. I think it's a massive opportunity for content creators, coaches, and online educators. I've expected big economic changes for a few years now. I think it's pretty much just a matter of time. And in fact, I think we were overdue for it. As it turns out, this whole COVID-19 thing was the trigger. Due to this pandemic, we have watched an economy that was purring along pretty well grind to a massive slowdown. And we're now seeing unemployment numbers that you would associate with an economic depression. We're watching the government rain helicopter money down on the population, and suddenly this word trillion is just being thrown around with this casualness that just makes your jaw hit the floor. Around the world, about 3 billion people have been told to stay at home in order to flatten the curve. Restaurants, in-person services, travel, hospitality, and so many other industries have been forced to close down. Even when they reopen, I imagine that the long-term effects on those industries is going to stay around for quite some time. Life feels like it's on pause, but it doesn't have to be. Throughout history, times of massive change are often sparked out of times of crisis. And I firmly believe that this crisis is going to trigger a series of changes. It might seem bad for a little bit, but ultimately, I think these changes are going to be very positive. Things have a way of rebalancing. People have been throwing around this word depression around lately. They've been comparing things to the Great Depression of the 1930s. But the thing to keep in mind is that even then, as bad as things got, there were numerous businesses that grew or were born out of the Great Depression. Wealth doesn't just disappear, it simply shifts, it moves around. During these economic times, wealth is going to transfer. And in fact, given what is likely to happen to our currency and to the banks, I think we could be heading into one of the biggest periods of wealth transfer in mankind's history. Those who cling to the old ways are going to lose out. Those who get out ahead of it could do very, very well. There is a massive shift happening in how we work and how we learn. And this pandemic has suddenly forced a lot of companies to experiment with this work at home model that they long resisted. Many are going to realize that it wasn't nearly as bad as they thought. And in fact, it likely reduced costs and it was probably a heck of a lot more efficient. Now, sure, some jobs simply can't be done from home. However, I think we're going to have a massive growth in work at home arrangements that's going to settle into a whole new high, a whole new normal. Remote work will no longer be something that only the geeky people do. And the economy is shifting to this very quickly as a result of our collective quarantine. Grocery stores have made huge pivots toward home delivery, restaurants are moving toward home delivery, and people just are not driving as much. When it comes to education, most schools and universities are physically shut down. Any education that is happening is pretty much exclusive online. And suddenly, all the kids are homeschooling. People are commuting less. People are going to be getting used to home study and being able to self-pace. They're going to get used to a more customized, individual-focused learning environment, all online. Collaboration has moved almost totally to platforms like Zoom and Skype. So this is all forcing major paradigm shifts. And these shifts will drift back to normal when this pandemic is over, but they're not going to go all the way back to where they were. This was a massive societal work at home experiment. Most companies were forced to participate, and it's not going to fully return to the way that it was. This virus has forced a fundamental change of mindset. No longer will the main focus be on where and when the work is done, but simply that the work is done. The work itself is what really matters. So how is the newly unemployed going to seek solutions to this? Even before COVID-19, I think our economy was heading toward some major shifts in labor and employment due to automation. Many jobs were working on borrowed time anyway. Now, this world lockdown just sped things up. Employees in many in-person businesses that were unable to transition to a work-at-home model have lost their jobs. Unemployment numbers have already shot up, and it's likely to get worse before it gets better. Now, what are these people going to do? In the short term, there's going to be help from the government and from banks or by going and selling assets. But that can't last forever. Before too long, the mindset is going to shift to how to find a new normal. They want to take control back over their lives. They want to redevelop their sense of certainty and security. Where does one turn when they feel they need to generate an income when you cannot return to your old situation? Suddenly, there's going to be a whole lot of people who are thinking about building online businesses. They're thinking about freelancing. They're thinking about side hustles. They're looking to learn new skills so they can get out there and get other kinds of jobs. They're trying to figure out how to work from home. They're trying to figure out how to create new income streams and how to take control of their finances, how to lower their debt and put some fuel back into their savings accounts. The work-at-home experiment becomes very real very quickly. People are going to turn to the internet, they already are, to find the information that they want. Suddenly, they've got more time, and they didn't have that time before. They can use that time to try to solve those issues at the top of their mind. They will be more than willing to invest in education if it's solving a real need that they are feeling. They will be reading and viewing a lot of online content that is aimed to solve those very concrete issues. I've already been seeing big increases in web traffic here at the Blog Marketing Academy, and my opt-in rates have almost doubled. And I didn't really do anything. It just kind of happened. So judging from some of these other entrepreneurs that I'm connected to as well and some groups that I'm in, my story is not alone. Traffic is up, people are responding, and people are buying. People are not clamming up into a ball. They're out there looking for solutions, and they're doing it online. They desire to regain a sense of stability and control. They want to learn new skills in order to diversify their opportunities. Online education is not only going to not go anywhere, but I expect it to grow substantially. I think now is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you to do something about it. Many out there are still in a state of mental limbo over current events. Many have a lot more spare time, and yes, right now, some are looking for an escape, and there's Netflix and YouTube, and they're doing really well. I can't help but wonder if a weird show like Tiger King would do even half as well if it wasn't for the captive audience. But many are not sitting around wasting time. Many are already looking for answers. We see it in the traffic numbers across the internet. As time goes on, I think the novelty of all this spare time is going to wear off. People are going to get tired of binge watching Netflix, and more people are going to join the ranks of learning to do new things and improve their situation. This is a huge opportunity for online course creators, for content creators, and for coaches. It can also be a huge opportunity for people who want to deliver an online service. And those who buckle down and really get out ahead of this are going to have an advantage over those who get in on this late. This new work-at-home demographic is going to rapidly increase in size. They are self-motivated people. Fear can be a real powerful motivator. They are actively looking for answers. And don't think that this is only about how to make money. It's definitely not. Some just want to further other goals. They might want to learn new skills that's been on their bucket list for a while. They might want to explore a new hobby or get better at an existing one. They might look to learn an instrument, to learn a language, or create art. It could be to learn new career skills so they can become more employable in other ways. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of interest in how to create side incomes. There's going to be a lot of people forced to transition to more independent work without relying on the old school paycheck. Many will look to create new businesses of various kinds. Online education was already a growing industry before COVID-19. It's just going to boom now, big time. And if you ever thought of building up some kind of business or side hustle that might fit into this kind of economy, now is the time to take massive action. If you already have such a business, now is the time to step up your game. This is your time right now. It's a unique window in time where you can gain a competitive advantage over all the newcomers sure to come into the space in the years to come. This is your time to be on the leading edge of the wave. It is times of rapid change where those who take action make the most growth. While others are freaking out, you can step up to the plate. And trust me, if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. You can count on that. Now, I'm a follower and also an investor in the cryptocurrency space. I don't know if you are. And it's easy to look back at the days that Bitcoin was like less than $100 or even $10 and think, if only I had bought some a whole lot more way back then. Those were the days where it was a massive, massive opportunity, but few knew about it yet. Some did, some just kind of lucked into it. But now there's really no second chance to be on the leading edge of that kind of growth in the cryptocurrency space. Now, I think what we may experience in online education may be similar to that. Possibly not as big, but it could be. We don't really know. And I don't want anybody, including myself, to feel a case of if I had only done things differently when the time was right. Look, competition is going to increase. This is going to get harder. So now is the time to cement a position. If you don't, it's only going to get harder to make an impact later. With all big economic downturns and changes, you're going to have a group of winners. You're going to have those who did very well, and the rest dwindle and fade away. Like I said, wealth doesn't disappear. It just moves. It transfers. And so the question is, what are you going to do? Now is the time to learn, to plan, and to prepare. Now is the time to build. Build your platform, start communicating to your audience, start creating things that will help and lead them. Take a leadership position and help your readers and subscribers solve the very real issues and concerns that they're experiencing. If you have an existing business, then look for opportunities to pivot to better meet the demands of this era that we're in. Step up your game. Improve your delivery, communicate to your audience more, and prepare to deliver. Get your offers ready and prepare those campaigns. If you don't yet have a platform, your job is to build one. Get started, stop hiding, stop preparing, stop waiting until the time is right. Start helping now. Everything that I am doing right now is about helping you do exactly that. So let me tell you how I'm responding and about some changes that I'm making here with my company. I think that this is a wake-up call, this entire thing. And I am doing everything I can to practice what I'm preaching here. Frankly, any moment that I've ever felt in the past of entrepreneurial boredom with regard to the Blog Marketing Academy, because I have been doing this for over a decade now, all that is done. And it's because I firmly believe that what I do is going to be even more in demand and more needed now than ever. And it's going to remain that way for a while. My job as a business owner is to be very effective at what I do and the solutions that I deliver and make people know about it. I need to get the word out. So here's what I'm going to be doing here. First, I'm massively stepping up my game when it comes to delivery of my primary solution. And this translates to a massive ramp up of new training and support for my lab members. The lab is my primary learning platform for my company, and everything I do orients around guiding a person from ground zero through the confusions of startup and upwards to a growing online business. In essence, I help people build businesses out of nothing, and I'm there to support people as they do it. So here's what I'm going to be doing right now. I'm massively speeding up my own production of new training, all with the goal of finally completing this massive project of the full training lineup for the full online business roadmap. I'm looking to massively ramp up the live community aspects of the lab through more live streams, more interactive office hours, and workshops. You're going to also be seeing a lot more videos from me. I can't help and lead if I'm not communicating, and I've gotten a little bit too comfortable just writing, I got to admit. So I think it's important to be more out there as a human being, so you're going to be seeing more of me in video format. I'm also going to be working to increase the community nature of this effort through featuring more of you guys and not having it be just the David Show. We are all in this together. We're all feeling the same things. And I feel as if our communications need to go both directions. Now, there is one more thing that I decided to do here. While some of what I just said is going to affect content on this blog and it's going to be available to everybody, it's my lab member community that is going to get the full Monty. That's where most things are going to be going. The lab member community, well, they're my peeps. Okay. They're also my customers. So I'm here to serve them in any way that I can. And I want to make it easier to join that movement and more accessible for people to take advantage of this time that we're living in. And so I've decided that I'm going to be lowering the membership rates for the lab. And you can now get started for as low as $29. Now, to be clear, this is not a sale. This is not some kind of a sales strategy. In fact, I don't think simply lowering rates is really that viable of a business strategy long term. It's sort of lazy, actually. I'm actually also getting rid of the old lifetime membership plan that most current members have, and I'm lowering the rate for the new signups. And now, as I hope I've made clear, I'm putting the onus on me to deliver like there's no tomorrow so that you want to remain a member for a really long time. I'm going to massively ramp up my delivery while making membership more accessible to everybody. You'll be able to follow along with everything that's happening because I post all the updates to the What's New section as a notification right at the very top of this website. It's like having a big change log of everything that happens across the Blog Marketing Academy and the lab. And even if you're not a lab member, you'll be able to see what those updates are as they're happening. I want to help anybody with the motivation to take advantage of this moment in time that we're living in right now. And I also want to light a fire under my own butt to continue to earn your membership. Now is not the time for laziness. Now is the time to deliver your best work. My friends, we live in a time of change right now. This is a time that we will look back at in history. Big changes to our economy and how we work and how we learn. And I believe that now is the time to deliver your best work. I believe now is the time to step up, to skate to where the puck is going. It's a time to get busy, it's a time to create, and it's a time to lead. And if you've been thinking about starting a site and an online business, now is the time to act. It's a time to plan, to prepare, and to reach out to others to help. The world needs your voice. This is the time to build your platform. I'm going to do my part to the best of my ability. My mission here, as it's been for years now, is to help people just like you do exactly that. Only now, the mission is even more necessary. So join the lab community. I'd love to see you on the inside soon. This moment in time is not going to last forever, but the changes that come from it are going to last for a long, long time. So it's time to take action and make things happen.